What's up, everybody? I'm Cuzzo Costo. This is my life story from innocent child to convicted killer. Now, I told you guys about the first, bit of drama that happened, but I want you guys to actually feel like you went to prison with me and went through this whole experience. So, I'm going to start back from the beginning. We'll skip over the Justin shit, but I'm going to give you the first-hand experience, okay? From the moment you walk in there and everything that came with it and what I was thinking, along the way. So, when we get off that bus, right? You're shackled. You got your cuffs like this, and then you have that black box, and that's why you're locked like that. And then you have your shackles around your ankles. And we all know this is going to be our home prison. Okay, so imagine right now you're on the bus, you're with a bunch of people, you have no idea who they are, and you're about to go to the place that, in my head, I'm here for the next 5 to 11 years. So you shuttle off, and the first place we go into is a booking area, and they immediately put us in, one of the fish tanks. A booking area, it's always, if you watch jail shows or anything like that, they got that clear, bulletproof glass that goes all around. You can see through that shit. There's a bunch of big cells, where you could fit like 20, 30 some people in. We're in one of them, right? And they're yelling out sizes. We got to get our clothes and stuff. And, I'm just looking around. I remember seeing guys in DOC Browns behind the desk too. And one of them was sitting at a desk. And I'm like, I remember, like, the fuck? How's he sitting at a desk? Because, dude, I'm young. I'm a kid, man. This happened when I was 19, and I just now I'm turning 20. So, me seeing someone in DOC Browns sitting behind a desk, I remember that was like, what the fuck? But, it turns out you get jobs in prisons. Who would have thought that, huh? It's one thing, man. When you're young, you're doing all this crime and you have no idea anything about the law. Now I could look at a criminal act and be like, shit, that's 10 years right there. Shit, I do that's 5 years right there. Shit, that's life. I'm doing a life sentence. But when you're a kid, man, you're not thinking about anything like that. And that's a scary thing, man. But okay, so this question was asked to me when I was at Western first coming in, but it's asked again. This is your home prison, so you're asked like, emergency contact questions, all these personal questions, but the one that always sticks out is, where do you want your body sent? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but like, it's a crazy question. Like, who asks shit like that? But I remember that fucked with me. It's crazy when you have no idea what you're walking into. All you've ever seen is movies. Maybe heard a few stories from other people. Yeah, county jail, that's one thing. But prison, that's a whole other story. And I'm young. And I'm white. And listen, I don't get into race. I don't get into the politics shit. I don't get into any of that bullshit. I don't want any of that on this channel. I've always been a person that we're all human beings, and that's it. I don't see any other category other than that. And I'm just keeping it real. I look at every single you're a human being. That's it. So I know everybody has their own opinion and shit, but that's me personally. I don't see anyone as less than or greater than. No matter how intelligent you are, how much wealth you might have, your skin color, where you were born, all those things, none of us chose. I don't know if anybody realized that, but, none of us chose anything. We were just born into this, and all I know is we're all human beings, and we're all going through the exact same shit. Okay? So back to my point. I'm nervous because I'm going into another world that I am unfamiliar with. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care if you got 10 bodies under your belt. It's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. The first time you ever step foot into a prison, you are going to be scared. And yeah, a lot of you aren't going to show it. But some of you are going to show that shit. That's going to affect you. So, we are being told what blocks we're going to. And when I'm told my block, one of the workers, not the one that was sitting at the desk, he was just standing by this like coffee dispenser thing. And he literally the youngin's going to I block. And the officer, yeah, I block. So he's smiling, and I'm nervous. I don't know what's going on. I can't just go out and ask, like, hey, what are you guys talking? You know what I'm saying? But like that right there, like, that's not good. Why are you asking that? Like, so we're walking out. As you're walking out, you go through medical. And as you come out of medical, you come right out where there's always pill line and where you're waiting, the waiting room for all the prisoners when you're about to see medical. And that's where you're walking out of. It's also the same exact way that you would go to a visit, right? And this is SECI Monohoy, Pennsylvania, SECI Monohoy. And this is one of our DOC prisons. This was the first prison I was ever at. When you first come out, I remember thinking this looks exactly like a college campus. That was my, holy shit, dude. I did not expect to walk in. I'm envisioning, some crazy dungeon shit, dude. Just because, Western was the first place I went. And then after Western, fucking Camp Hill, it wasn't that much better. But yeah, dude, it was nice. Yeah, flowers, fucking, look, I'm gonna try I'm gonna try and tone my language down. I promised somebody that I would try and work on all my cussing. The hell was that? I think one of my speakers died. So, yeah, I'm seeing landscaping, and the grass is cut, and nice paved sidewalks and fresh paint. All the buildings look new, and I'm like, damn, this place looks nice. So we're all pushing our carts. We got our record boxes, these cardboard boxes that got all of our stuff in, just little hygiene and clothes and shit. They give you boxers, socks, t-shirts, and then you just got your forever uniform, your DOC Browns. In PA, we rock brown uniforms. And everyone else that was with me was going to all these blocks that are right in front of us. You know, like the way we're walking in, you could visibly see them. And I remember I asked, and I hate asking anyone anything in prison, dude. I never wanted to be that dude that had to ask any questions, but there's a CO at this bus stop, we call them, because that's what they pretty much are. It's just they chilling and there ain't no bus coming, but it's the same shit. So the CO's sitting in the bus stop, and I'm like, I don't see my block. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, I block. And he smiles and does a little laugh. And he's like, oh, you're going to I block. How old are you? Now, remember, I don't have any of these tattoos. Nothing, okay? I got the long hair, long like I have now, but no tattoos, and just turned 20. So he asked how old I was. I said 20. What are you in here for? And I'm like, damn, they just come right out and ask. Like, I wasn't expecting COs to do that shit. And I remember I didn't say murder. I said I shot someone, and they died. And immediately he's like, oh, so you killed someone? Yeah, I block. You're going to go in between them blocks and go all the way to the back. Yeah, you're all the way back there. And I'm like, all right. So immediately I'm like, damn, I'm probably going to a block that everybody has homicide, like is up there for homicides. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's, and so I'm scared. I'm scared, man. You know, the only places I've been, like max security before I went to prison, was Beaver County Jail and Allegheny County Jail. You know, BCJ and the ACJ. And back then, you know, A-Pod, that was max. Everyone was, you know, fighting serious shit, looking at life. And when I was at the time when I was in ACJ, I had a drug case I was fighting in Pittsburgh. So, but I still had my homicide in BCJ. So when I would get transferred to fight my drug case in ACJ, I still had the homicide I was fighting. So back then, I went to 8D, and 8D, D as in dog, you know, not, you know, I know 8E as in echo, that's the whole, but back then, 8D, you know, that was, everyone was fighting homicides. Everyone was fighting homicides. We all had single cells, like, and, you know, I remember thinking, like, that, all of them situations was wild, man. Like, when I was a teenager going through that shit, man, like, it was wow, it was serious then. And I seen like it mellowed out. It mellowed out through the years. But yeah, so I'm scared, and I'm pushing this cart, and I remember going in, and just like how Camp Hill had two sides, you know, an A side and a B side, this also had an A and a B side. And I was put on I block, and I was put on A side. This block had two tiers. And I can't remember how many cells, but it was a lot. I think there was about maybe 100 of us on each side, maybe. Could be more. I don't want to say something and it not be right. Like if I remember it, I'm gonna say it. But if I'm not 100% sure. But I remember the first two people that I walked into. Right, just it looked like typical any prison movie you would see, where you would walk in and there'd be two dudes standing there. These two motherfuckers were them. And one of them I'm actually in contact with and is gonna, come on. When I start doing the podcasting and interviews and stuff, he's coming on. But he was one of the old heads that was leaning up against this wall, and he's this white dude, just bombed out in tattoos, looks like a straight biker. Like, that's what I'm thinking looking at him. Right next to him, this is an old head lifer, right? And everyone calls him Young Boy Cuba. Now, this dude's fucking sick, or I think he was 50, 58 at this time, maybe 56, something like that. But everyone called him Young Boy Cuba because this dude he wasn't real. Like, this is the strongest dude I've ever seen ever in my life. Like, if he was not in prison right now, he'd be famous on YouTube for how fucking strong he is. Like, dudes out in the yard that are strong as hell, what they're benching, he's fucking skull crushing and shit, dude. Like, he does all his dips on his like, all of his knuckles are calloused. Like, everything he does, push-ups, like, all that shit. He's just, like, dude, he's an animal. And he's extremely respected, fucking, and that was that dude, bro. And those are the first two people that I walk into. Young Boy Cuba and Smitty. Shout out to Mike Smith. And they were fucking with me. Like, they're like staring me down, like grilling me and shit. And it's funny, like, looking back on it, because at the time I'm scared as fuck. I'm like, oh shit, dude, these motherfuckers would have whooped my ass. Like, yo. And my first cellie, lifer, and he's old head. He was, I think in his late 60s. And he was down a long time already too. And as soon as I walk in, what are you here for? Let me see your paperwork. Like, right off the rip. And I'm like, okay, like, old head's a fish. At least I know he's not a weirdo, And when I say weirdo, like, he's not a pedophile, or he didn't rape anyone, not a serial killer of women or children, shit like that. Like, that's what, it's considered weird. But yeah, fucking, I'm like, yeah, he can't be one of them, because he's immediately going for the paperwork shit. And, most people that are them, that's the last thing they want to talk about. So, yeah, I pull my shit out, and, yeah, he killed somebody, and it was in a bar fight. And, I explained to him my homicide, which was, I was being robbed and attacked. And, yeah, he's breaking down to me all the rules of the cell, and he's telling me this is the rules in all cells. Only fuck boys. And that's, I'm gonna try and work on my cussing, but sometimes I gotta say shit, But yeah, he said, fuck boys. You you take your shoes off when you come in the cell. You clean the cell every morning. You keep all your dirty shit, or you keep that in your laundry bag, and you keep that tucked. Little things like that, you don't think about. Like, when you piss, you if you're gonna stand, which some people, they kneel, but he said, if you're gonna stand, you're gonna flush, and it's like courtesy flushing. So it's not just hitting the water and splashing up. It's it's a lot of little things. Brushing your teeth. You don't spit in the sink. When you're brushing your teeth, you do not spit in that sink. You spit in the toilet. Everything is in that toilet, because in that sink you're washing your face. You're washing your clothes. That's where everything needs to be clean. And respect thing, when one's on the floor, the other one got to be on the bunk. If we're cooking or shit like that, yeah, but it's a respect thing, the cells are small. And privacy time, giving your cellie alone time. Sometimes you don't want somebody always in your face and around you. And, when you're straight in there and you don't, get into that, bro, all you got is, excuse my language, but that's all you got, bro. That's all you got in there, man. And just keeping it real, bro. Like, it's a whole other world. And these are the little things that, like, I had to reteach myself. Another thing he was breaking down to me was, the language, how to talk. Like, me and my homies growing up, we was calling each other bitch. Shut up, bitch. Man, you a bitch. Bitch. And we just said it, like, in there. And I get this, because if somebody that wasn't one of my homies said that shit to me, yeah, like, I'm going to want to fight you. But, like, no, in there, that is serious. You don't, if you say that shit, no, you mean that shit. Another one, which I never like saying this, but, like, suck my dick. You say some shit like that to bro, that, it's going down. You call someone a rat, and you don't got that black and white, or you don't got that any proof, legitimate proof, and mostly, yeah, it's black and white. You might have time to get it, but, like, you don't call nobody a rat unless you could back that up, or you better be ready for what comes with that, because anyone that person's associated with, they're going to tell him, bro, that motherfucker called you a rat, and, like, he can't prove that shit, like, because you ain't rat, or whatever the situation is, they're going to want him to go on, like, and there's a lot of things that, like, you can't let slide. Respect is a big thing. And I don't want to go too into this, like, to take you guys off of, the whole story, but I'm going to get into politics. I'm going to get into how to carry yourself. I'm going to get into a lot of stuff where, my first channel ever was prison consulting. And I was doing it locally a lot too, like, making good money doing it. But, I want this to be like a full-on experience of what it was really like for me. Because a lot of people that are close to me, they don't know what I went through. A lot of people in my family, they don't know what I went through. And I'm hoping one day that each one of them get to see this and see that see that I'm still me. And maybe they can see for themselves, like, okay, what would I have done? And then for the youngins that are watching this, and that's why, like, I really, this is for adults only content, but I know kids are going to see this, and I want them to know the reality of what that shit's like, especially now. Because all these youngins, y'all are getting tried as adults. You're going to adult prisons with booty bandits that are violent with their hands. You guys are out here with nothing but guns now. It's not even safe to fight. And I can't argue it, because I see what's going on everywhere. You might try and fight somebody and they shoot you. I see it, and it's messed up. But you guys are going straight. If you're not dying, you're going to prison. And you're going to places where there are extremely savage, evil people. They're just pure evil. Think about that. Everyone watching this. But I got lucky. I got lucky to get my first cellie as someone like him. And shout out to Fink. And not everyone is. Sometimes that first celly, you could have got put right in with a booty bandit. And when I say booty bandit, I know you guys, everyone that's into prison content and watching it, that shit's real. Yeah. And them booty bandits, they call them that because that's what they do. They steal booty. They're dudes who they're doing life or they're doing, 20, 30 years, whatever. And that's their MO. I have to bleep that. They want to scrape someone. You got to be on point all the time. You got to be on point all the time. And that's another reason why I'm going to go through everything that I went through. I'm going to go through everything I went through, and I'm going to explain exactly what was going through my head and why I chose to do what I did, because I made it through. I went in when all the odds were stacked against me, and I left that same person. I got in a lot of trouble. You guys are going to hear about everything. I got in a lot of trouble. I did a lot of stupid shit. I did a lot of fucked up shit that I got away with. A lot of shit that I got away with a lot more than what I got caught doing in there. And some things I'm not going to go into detail. I just can't. I'm not going to do, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, but like, I'm not going to do, this isn't going to be a 1090 Jake end of sentence thing.
K-Frog will hold no punches when stating how common those things are to see in Florida prison. Yet he would hold back when asked how he got the phone to record it. He would also make it clear that he expected no consequences because he was already released. K-Frog's videos landed him on the news, and the Florida DOC announced an investigation. His move would inspire many Florida inmates to tell their story. But if you know anything about prison stories, then you know, the bigger, the better. May 1st, 2019. A buzz in prison genre YouTube channel by the name of Lockdown 23-1 would bring on a guest by the name of 1090 Jake. Jake would captivate the audience with his graphic storytelling and seemingly endless thread of knowledge regarding the horrors of the Florida Department of Corrections. Different from K-Frog, Jake would go in depth with his stories, not only detailing every step of the incidents, but also state names of individuals involved as well as the facilities. This would help with interactions from the audience, as the comments would fill with people who could relate to Jake's story in the same facilities. The interviewer, a guy by the name of Death, would tell Jake he should create his own YouTube channel, and Jake would do exactly that very same day.
I'm not giving names like that, and I took myself out of that life. I chose, to live this life. I chose this. So that's me. So I don't want anything to do with putting anyone in any harm's way or any trouble or anything like that. So certain times when I'm going to be talking about things, I'm not going to be as detailed. I'm not going to say names, and it's to protect everyone. Okay, I'm not into that. This is my life story, and I just want to stick to that. If you're thinking about changing your life, keep watching this. I promise you, you don't want to go through what I went through.